Like Hans Gruber wrecked villains for a while because you had Under Siege 2. Under Siege Under Siege was good because Tommy Lee Jones just chewed scenery, which he didn't even try to go Gruber. I dug that.
No, he did his own thing.
Yeah. All right, so back to this jump. I just love that he never descends. He just. Have you ever thought about that in this movie or no? Did that ever stick out to you?
It did stick out to me to be like the one superhuman thing that was happening in a grounded movie.
I mean, it was super, like, just.
Yeah.
I love it though. That's why maybe I scratch my head so hard at it, is because that's the one thing that never made sense to me. And I feel like breaking down the logic of it isn't me going that would never happen. That's just me saying what happened in this world.
Now, do you think that it was shot to look different, and then in the editing room they edited it together to make it look like a super jump? But kind of like, in Superman the movie when they do that car roll down the hill at the end of it, but the car only rolled one time, but Richard Donner had 17 cameras on it.
Yeah, so it rolled 40 billion times.
Yeah, so it just had different angles and it just kept rolling, but it only actually rolled once.
So obviously, So what I think was when they were looking up, like when he jumps, they should have cut to them. If he should have been in the swinging motion when Christian Bale and Goldeneye were looking up at him, and then you cut up, and then the dragon eats him. Does that make sense? But instead, they cut up with him not doing the swinging motion, and then the swing. So I think they're kind of saying. They showed us their point of view, and then they showed us what happened. But the way they filmed it, you can only have the idea that he floated 35 feet in the air.
Exactly. All
right. So
they were trying. It was logic gone astray for the sake of storytelling.
Is there anything else you want to cover in this movie? Is there any other big bits about the ending, or do you so at the end they kill the big buck, Mixie gets eaten. Bale kills it, and then they haven't seen a dragon in 3 months. Does that mean it was 3 months after they killed the big dragon, or they had to deal with all the dragons, and then it was 3 months after that?
Yeah, I think they did a month of dragon cleanup.
Yeah, and then it had been three, so like maybe 3 months of dragon fighting, and then they hadn't seen one in 3 months.
Right.
Because then, the dragons were eating each other.
Right. I will say this: I felt that Goldeneye and Christian Bale had zero chemistry whatsoever together.
I mean, that was tacked on. That was
yeah.
I mean, that at the end they hold hands, and you're like, what? Like what?
Yeah.
Like what?
I felt like the real would be like a Luke and Leia. Like she's actually your sister would make more sense.
Wait, she was born in Kentucky.
Yeah, but separated at birth and whatnot, and that's why he was so sassy, because he was raised by London folk, but he's actually a Kentuckian at heart.
I always love whiskey. I'm sassy. That's funny. He was so sassy because he was adopted. Yeah, but like she just sort of like they goes on the mission at the end, and then they just become like husband and wife. She got the short shrift in this one. For sure. Goldeneye did not get treated too well.
No.
She's a pilot.
This is the second movie we talked about where there's been an unnecessary romance just tacked on there for no reason whatsoever.
Because we had Universal Soldier, where she literally falls for a zombie.
Right.
And then you had Steel Dawn, where the lady just falls for Swayze and they ditch the guy that's been faithfully working for him for years.
Right. Right. And what was the one in between? We did a third one.
Oh man, what was the other movie we did?
We did.
How did we forget?
I forget what it was, but it was great.
So we've had 3 unnecessary things. Here, I'm pulling it up right here. I can't believe. I just pulled up the wrong. So we have 3 unnecessary ones. Let me see. MFF. We're going through. You and I did. Oh, the 13th Wire.
The 13th Warrior.
Another
and that whole tacked on romance.
We've gone 4 for 4.
4 for 4. Just boldly, next time, don't give me a romance.
Is that weird? Like, is that weird that you and I have picked 4? We've gone 4 for 4 with unnecessary romances.
Well, I think it shows what we like in movies and what we don't. Unnecessary.
We like.
Nah. I'm going to say this, Mark. I'm going to say this. I think you and I are so content with our wives, we don't need to see romance on TV.
Yeah, I don't need it. That's funny because I said I just want to see a movie where Christian Bale and Jerry Butler are running around pushing each other.
Yeah, playing Star Wars in their backyard.
Yeah, just kind of hanging out, talking about what's going to go on with the potatoes.
Right.
Like, what's going on with this crop this year? I don't know. We got to go look at it. And then it's them and 10 people discussing.
Those seeds got to germinate.
Yeah, and then it's just them discussing that they should get more light on them.
Right.
And then they go do the entire Star Wars trilogy.
Oh, yes. Yes.
All right. So I think we've done a good job knocking out this movie. Now we're going to move on to our patented super crew of monster. So basically monster punchers or creature punchers. And they don't have to punch. They can also kick.
Yeah, or hunt or stalk, whatever it would be.
And then we'll break it down to a super team of 8.
Very good.
All right, cool. Do you want to start?
I love it. Sure. And I'm going to start like I always do, with Rutger Hauer.
I knew you should. I was about to say that. That's funny.
So he was in a movie called Split Second. Have you seen this movie?
I have. My Rutger Hauer movies are. I know nothing about them.
Okay, well, Split Second was it's actually quite interesting. It was the 1992 sci-fi kind of movie, but there's like a serial killer on the loose, and he just plays a detective. But the serial killer ends up being this alien creature that looks exactly like Venom. like you need to, if you Google the poster, it's Rutger Hauer walking in front of Venom.
And he's just fighting Venom?
Yeah, and so he ends up fighting Venom, and he fights him on a train, and so anyways, but Rutger Hauer is just like dynamite in this movie, and it was like a little known movie, but he's just like the quintessential badass cop.
On a scale of 1 to 10, like, so is it tougher than Danny Glover in Predators?
It's the same year. And I think the only thing is that Danny Glover has that Danny Glover grit.
Yeah.
But this is it. So I think Split Second was made to be like an urban version of Predator, but just happened to be in the same year that Predator made an urban version of Predator.
With Rutger Hauer.
Rutger Hauer.
Oh, wait. No, wait. Before that. So you had two oh, man. All right. I got to watch this trailer. I'm going to watch this trailer. I love it. Split Second. You're a Rutger Hauer guy, man. I'm not too versed in his. All right, so mine. This is really random, but it's Lara Croft from Tomb Raider, the movie. So there's a scene in the movie where this giant place is falling down underwater, and she swims out, right? But she can't make it all the way to the top fast enough, so she cuts herself, which she should just keep swimming because she can make it to the surface. But she cuts herself. This massive shark circles her, right? Then charges her, and she punches a shark right in the nose. Whatever the shark has, the snout, I don't know. Punches it right in the schnoz, and the shark goes, ugh. And then it turns around, and she grabs onto its dorsal fin, and it swims her to the surface.
Fantastic.
She punches a shark so hard underwater that it shakes its head and goes, okay, you're my boss now. And it swims her to the surface.
That's how fast you tame a shark when you're Lara Croft.
Now, I know it's not technically a monster, but they're
the monsters of the sea.
Yeah, exactly. So
we discussed earlier about, remember I talked about the Vikings, how they bury a shark?
Yeah.
And I think I referred to them as they take a monster from the sea, bury it, then eat it. So it works in our context.
She punches this monster in the schnoz, and then it just willingly swims her to the surface. Like, hey, I don't want no more. And because of that, I respect you.
Yeah.
All
no,
right.
I'm down with that.
All right. Who's your next one?
My next one is John Nada, played by Roddy Piper in They Live.
Yes. Can I tell you that I also have a pick? Was it Frank from They Live?
Okay, perfect.
So I had Frank on this list. Keith David from They Live.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. What did you add John for?
Well, I just think he's here really to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and he's all out of bubblegum.
And he says
that. He says that. And I just think that he is, in his purest form, strictly a fighter. He has no other agenda than to fight what doesn't belong.
Yeah.
And in that movie, it goes from like protesters to like, actual aliens, but he's just, whatever doesn't belong there, he wants to get rid of it so he can just be a man. And I think that at the core of our monster fighting team, we need that kind of, we don't, like, I made an argument today about like, well, the dragon didn't ask for this. I want Roddy Piper to slap me in the face and be like, stop it. We have to kill the dragon.
Yeah, get over yourself. This is what has to
get
get
over
done.
Yourself. We're gonna kill him.
That's glasses on. And what I love about Frank is that once he gets those glasses on, he wasn't in this to begin with, but once he gets in it, he's in it. So this isn't even his battle. Like, this was not his battle. But once he gets those glasses on, he's like, I'm with you. And that's why he's perfect for the team, because you just need a guy that's like, I'm with you. I got your back.
100%. 100%.
Awesome.
That's
awesome.
Roddy Piper's in 100%.
I love that you and I picked either one from the movie. It's brilliant.
Right.
All right.
And
cool.
so is Hank your next pick then? Is that?
Yeah. He's my next pick. I had him in here. So I guess you're up now. So we have 4 picks.
Okay. Which is kind of neat what was happening right now, because you said that you didn't think like a shark isn't technically a real monster. I picked my next pick is Martin Brody from Jaws.
Yes. Because he doesn't kill just one. He kills 2.
He kills 2. And here's why I picked Sheriff Brody. Because at the risk of his own personal reputation, he pursues this monster with fever and passion. Because he cares more about the town of Amity and his family than he does about his own self. And I think that's like the truest form of a hero. And that's the kind of selflessness we need in our team.
Yeah, you're right. He goes out there on a tiny boat.
But his wife tells him he's crazy.
Yeah, and he stays cool, calm, and collected. He nails the shot when you have to. He goes out again and electrocutes a shark. I mean, this guy, he's just a good guy who goes out there. And if you think about it, hunting a gigantic shark on a tiny boat, there's nothing more frightening.
No.
I mean, you can chew bubblegum and shoot aliens. You can, Laura Croft can punch a shark because she's just Laura Shaw, even though she's in the water. But she knew what she was doing. Brody's not Laura Croft. Brody's a man, not a superhero. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Oh man, I love it. Sorry to hijack your Martin Brody. That's just my favorite movie.
No.
So I love that you picked it.
No, it's my favorite movie as well.
All right. So my next one is Captain Stephen Hiller from Independence Day.
Oh, yes.
And the reason I added this is because a gigantic 14-foot alien jumps out of a spaceship. Hiller punches it once in the face and knocks it unconscious.
Right.
With its protective shielding on.
Welcome to Earth.
Yeah, it has like a bulletproof vest over its face. It has a football helmet times 6 over its body. And Hiller knocks it out with one punch.
Exactly.
How much power is in that punch?
It's got the entire power of the human race in that punch. That's how much power it has.
So yeah, I just thought I added him in here because he goes up in spaceships with Jeff Gold. He doesn't care. Like, he'll go up in a spaceship to blow him up. He's cool, calm, and collected, and he could just knock anything out.
Well, in the entire Air Force, he's the only one that brings an alien down.
Yeah, you're right. And too bad. I always say I'm gonna light the tires and kick the fires, Big Daddy. And then people are like, "What are you talking about?" But if Stephen Hiller hit that shark in Tomb Raider, the shark would have died, and he would have felt terrible about himself.
Well, he wouldn't have survived because he didn't have the ride that Laura Croft had.
Terrible planning. That's funny.
Oh, that's a good pick.
That's all right. Awesome. What's your next one?
Valentine McKee.
Valentine McKee.
Kevin Bacon from Tremors.
Oh my gosh, what a survivor.
Right? And yeah, go ahead.
Does he get a package deal with Fred Ward?
I think so. I think they're kind of the same. They're very much like Jericho and Hank.
Wait, but they're both unproductive, and one, Jericho's dragging Hank along.
Right.
So I just think, are you saying Fred Ward is Hank?
I would say yes.
Oh, that's
compared to Kevin Bacon, right? Because it's